Oh man, Alfredzo.
What's up, coffee maker?
Hi. How you doing?
So far, so good. Keeping the coffee brewing.
Oh, man. You ready to do this thing again?
Yes, sir. Ready to keep the lights on.
Let's
Get the
go,
skills
man.
to pay the
It's
bills.
season 3. I think it's time. Let's go.
Yeah.
What is up, coffee makers, not coffee takers? You are locked in to the Cyber Coffee Hour, where we brew up insights and community in the digital world. I'm the People's Chief, Dr. Joseph J. Burt-Miller Jr., and he's the one and only master of cyber farms, Alfredzo B. Nash Jr. We both hail from the legendary streets of Mount Vernon, New York, but we're coming to you live and direct from the DMV area. Now, we're geared up to share the incredible stories and experiences of our amazing guests. Our mission is straightforward: to share knowledge, deepen understanding, and foster a vibrant community within the vast realm of cyberspace. So grab your coffee mug and let's brew. Now, for today's show, we'll have a coffee chat with cybersecurity researcher and consultant, Marcelle Lee. Now, today we have the immense pleasure of welcoming Marcel. With over a decade of experience in cybersecurity, Marcel has worked with some of the most elite teams in the field, including Secureworks, Counter Threat Unit, and the Equinix Threat Analysis Center. She's a consultant, threat researcher, and educator with deep expertise in everything from digital forensics and intrusion analysis to technical writing. A true leader in the cyber community, Marcel is also a frequent speaker and has been recognized for her outstanding contributions to the field with awards like the Chesapeake Regional Tech Council Women in Tech Award. Marcelle Lee, welcome to the Cyber Coffee Hour.
Hey, thanks for that fabulous intro. Very happy to be here today.
Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome.
You're making me blush.
Well, this is big for us, and we're starting up season 3, so yeah, after a nice long break, we're back at it. But
yeah, it's been a minute since we talked about doing a podcast together.
It's been some time.
I have to admit, you changed it up on the intro, and I like it. I like the new change up for season 3.
Well, we got to, it's a new season. We got to give us proper respect. Got to, add a little more flavor and let people know it's a new thing. But like I said, it has been a while. But I guess Marcel, you want to just share a bit just how things been going for you during this time. I know we've been talking about this, in the background, getting this set up to this day. But I mean, how things been going for you during this time?
Yeah, things are going pretty good. So I will address the elephant in the room, which is that I got riffed a few months ago. Yeah, I got riffed back in April. So I am on the hunt for a new job, and I could tell you so much about my job hunt experience. But that could be another podcast. It'll definitely be a blog at some point. So that's been happening. But really, to be quite honest, it's not a bad thing. Like, I had my entire summer off, and I don't know about you all, but like, I can't even tell you the last time. Like, probably never in my life since I was like a little kid, because I've always like worked and hustled, even when I was coming out, working and doing all sorts of things in the summers. So yeah, it's actually been nice to kind of have a minute to pause and reflect and work on a zillion different projects that I always am like juggling so many things that I want to work on, right? So that's kind of like my reality right now, but it's okay. I'm all right with it.
And so for the coffee makers that aren't on the government side, right, RIF is reduction in force, right? Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah. That is correct. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm usually much better about saying acronyms and also like explaining what they are.
Yeah.
We all love the acronym sandwiches as well.
I know. But and the funny thing is like everybody, when they hear that I've lost my job, they think automatically that I work for the government, because so many people in the government have been impacted by layoffs and RIFs and whatnot.
Right.
But no, I work private sector, and
and they did a RIF too?
Yeah. and they did a
so
cut.
that's
Well, they did a cut on the InfoSec team, and then unfortunately they just did another one, and the one they just did like last week, anywhere from 30 to 50 people were let go from InfoSec team. So it's a tough market out there.
Yeah.
So I have had over 40 interviews since April, and lots of experience, with that whole thing. I've been second choice like a few times, and that just goes to show you. I mean, I'm not saying I'm fabulous, right? But there's such competition.
No,
right
you
now,
should. You are.
Come on, Marcel. Don't do that.
This is a real market out here. Like,
That's true. But yeah, it's just the competition is pretty fierce because there's a lot of people out there looking right now. So anyway, but like I said, I'm looking at it as, one door closes, another door opens. Right. I'm a pretty positive person all the time anyway. So.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's what's new with me.
Wow, and I'm confident things will definitely turn around for you for sure.
Me too. Thank you.
We'll get connected on LinkedIn and start.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This ball rolling. Keep the coffee brewing.
I like it. Definitely can appreciate the help.
Alfredzo, how about you, sir? How things move with you?
I'm gonna take a breather because now I'm kind of hyped up. So I know we said we were gonna take a break, but I did the exact opposite this time this season. I came out of at the top of the end of season 2, I went into Master Naturalist training, and then I graduated with a cohort of 20 in Maryland, and then all of a sudden it got busy. So we graduated, went out to the state, went from our whole site. Shout out to Still Meadow Park out in Baltimore City, close to the Baltimore City area. And we kind of broke up into different, missions. Like, so then once that break happened and we celebrated, I went to volunteer at a food bank. Shout out to Maryland Food Bank.
Yeah.
Never really took a break until just recently, a month ago.
Is that the one in Anne Arundel? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think it's close to Anne Arundel. Yes.
Yeah. I definitely have donated, and I donate regularly to Maryland Food Bank. I forget. I think they might be based in Baltimore, but there's a huge food bank in Anne Arundel.
So they're based in Baltimore. Right, based in Baltimore County. They trend the line at Anne Arundel, where they have a distribution point in the like a headquarters. I didn't know any of this 3 months ago, so I went to the different sites, and it was really cool. Got schooled up and met some cool connections in Baltimore County and Anne Arundel.
What's the Naturalist thing? Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, we're gonna circle back. All right, so the Naturalist thing came from a referral trying to forage your own food. I made pesto. I found edible greens in the wildlands, a woodland garden, trying to build a sustainable garden in my yard. But, the verdict's still out on that. And so through the different connections, you go out and you do Master Naturalist training. And so I did 40 hours at my initial site with CCBC. And then you do 40 hours with the state of Maryland and any other host site. So we have the first urban ecological site at Still Meadow Park in Baltimore. So that's where I trained up. And 20 of us broke out into maintaining the whole site, but also going to like a nature center, a state park, an ecological research center, a lab if they have it, and we contribute to building up the environment. Right?
I love that.
Oh, I love it too, because now just an hour before the show, I came out from picking invasive weeds and studying a few of the other perennials in our garden. So that was the summer.
Nice.
So I managed to squeeze in one show with Squirrel X, and now I have to make up my hours because for some reason it just feels like time disappeared after volunteering with the food bank. That one came through the grapevine of being a naturalist. So I did community emergency training too at the same whole site, and all of a sudden I look up and 2 seasons are gone. Spring is left and summer is gone. Managed to get one birthday celebration in New York for my new nephew too. Shout out to my nephew. I went all the way up to Syracuse, New York, and back, and burnt out a little bit.
Gosh, you have been busy.
And we were supposed to take a break. I think every time I say, I'm not gonna say we're gonna take a break next time. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, just do it, man. For me, it's really just more of the same. Maintaining the study hall. Also for myself, preparing. I have a goal. Get the get the CISSP secured before the end of 2025. So I'm feeling very close. I'm feeling pretty good about it this time. So I'm gonna give it another chance, another crack at it. Also, and of course, Marcel, I know you mentioned about rifts, and we've been seeing it on the government side, and things have been as of late, as far as when it comes to I guess like the workforce, the hiring, and things of that nature. It is starting to, I guess, trickle back on in a sense on the government side. So those who are looking, I do a shameless plug. Intelligence community is starting to open the faucet again a bit. So I think that's encouraging. I think that's a good sign. So
was that before or after the Fed? No, I'm joking. So they opened the faucet. Can you elaborate? So that's a hiring like boom.
Like they started like those who put in who had applied like before the hiring freeze, like early in the year. They're starting to if those who are still, if they still had the application there, because honestly, I mean, those waiting that long time, they may have found another job or moved on because
I'm gonna tell you, it was 18 months when I tried, and it was like, gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving.
No, I get that. So yeah, so that's what I mean. Yeah, it is kind of looking back at those who may still have applications still on file, and but also open it up for like new applicants as well. So yeah,
well, I have heard that also, that like some of like government shops that had hiring like on hold are starting to like open up again. Is that what you're talking about?
Right. Yeah.
So, for our coffee makers, when Dr. Joseph says the IC, that's intelligence community. Okay, so all those and for folks who don't know, I just gotta put the plug into. There's some folks that might not know that is a community of practice of several government agencies.
Right.
That will put you on the talent pool and will reach out to you based on your applicant whenever they lifted the hiring.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, so like I said, just maintain that, just work with the team, and also just kind of just getting stuff ready as we I mean, football is back.
It is definitely.
Soon our basketball will be back next month. It's crazy. I mean, the time really does fly, honestly. But
wait, so are you watching or playing or both?
Oh, he's watching. I don't know. Do you play?
What basketball?
Football?
Football? No. Football? No. Come on, Marcel. I'll be on a stretcher right now.
Right. Me too. One good hit, we're out of it.
Yeah. Done. I'll be out of there. But all right.
So if you want a quick tip on CISSP,
sure.
I took the previous version of it when it wasn't 6 hours. It was somewhere longer than it is now. But anyway, I don't know. First, I will say it was the most boring certification exam I've ever taken in my life. I'm not lying when I tell you I literally fell asleep at least twice, maybe 3 times.
Was that with the Scantron?
Because I was just like, no. Oh, right. I'm in the test.
Now, you took it with the Scantron? Like the paper?
No, not Scantron. It was, on a computer. So like back in the day, it used to be like a 6-hour test, I think, on the Scantron. And then at some point, because I did it maybe like 5 years ago.
Okay.
So it was shorter. It was on a computer. And now I think it's even shorter than it was when I did it. I think it was 4 hours when I did it. My suggestion for prepping is do as many practice exams as you possibly can, because it's all about understanding how they word those questions. And as you all know, I have kind of a lot of certifications. So I can tell you like a question that you might be asked for CISSP and then say like Security Plus could be exact same question. It's going to have 2 different answers because you're answering from the perspective of a manager for CISSP and the perspective of a practitioner for Security Plus.
I'm glad you said that.
Well, it's so true. So yeah, I had like an app on my phone, and I don't remember what it was called, but you could find these things. And so it was just CISSP questions. So I was just endlessly like, wake up in the middle of the night, let me do some CISSP questions. Or I'm sitting at a traffic light. Well, okay. Maybe
maybe not the traffic light, but maybe you're sitting at a restaurant waiting for your food to come or something like that.
Here.
Right.
Getting a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's my recommendation. So
No, thank you. All right. So, Marcel, if your cybersecurity career had a theme song, what would it be and why?
So I definitely have a thought about this, and I will preface it with the fact that I love like music that you can dance to, and I don't even really care about the genre that much. I'm just all about like the beat.
Yeah, if it makes you
But the
move,
song,
I get it. Yeah.
yeah, I like to move. The song that resonates the most for me, and you all will probably laugh at me, but it's Missy Elliott, "Work It," because
Yeah.
yeah, no, because she
Let's
does that
Yeah.
whole.
go.
It's
5-year
all about
intervals.
reversing, and it makes me think because I used to run a malware analyst team. So every time, like the first time I heard it, I'm like, is she talking about reverse engineering?
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
that
way.
is true because part of
No,
the
that's
song
right.
she does reverse it in the
Yeah,
song.
and she
Yeah.
says things backwards, but
Yeah.
like since the first time I heard it, it just resonated for me, and I'm just sure it has absolutely nothing to do with malware reverse
No,
engineering. In fact, I know it doesn't.
But that's a great
But
way to
still,
spin
every
it
time
though.
I
but
hear
it
it,
is.
I'm
That's a
like,
great
I can
spin.
Yeah,
dance.
it's a great
Yeah.
spin on it, right? For real.
Absolutely.
And so I can see that now too. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's one I would say that would be my go-to because yeah.
So
And
just
it's specifically for. Oh yeah, you got it.
no, go ahead, Alfredo.
And it's specifically so you in your career you would focus that song towards malware analysis and reverse engineering.
Well, that's what I think of as soon as I hear it,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Nice.
And then it makes me like want to dance while doing malware. All right, I'm not a reverse engineer. I'm not going to pretend that, but it makes
Right.
me want to dance while doing some sort of analysis.
Nice.
Hey, it should be fun. You know,
Yeah,
you probably work you work much better when you're having fun as well.
I think so.
So just on a tad more serious note, like what's that? I guess that one like aha moment that you've had in your threat research that completely changed like your perspective on a particular type of attack or adversary.
Yeah, so for me, I really think, and I'm a career changer, right? I didn't always do cybersecurity. I came to this field like a dozen years ago or something, 2011 ish.
Hmm.
I am endlessly astonished by the ingenuity of threat actors. And I think it's just because I don't really have a criminal mind at all. Whenever I see somebody doing something like crafty and creative from a threat actor perspective, I was just like, what? Whoever thought of that?
Right.
And so really the thing that kind of like really makes me pause is that when you look at the everyday user, like we've done users such a disservice, right? Nobody really gives users a fair shake or any kind of useful information whatsoever. You know, you have your kind of, are we allowed to cuss? Can I say shitty security
Yeah, we'll
awareness
just put
training?
E for explicit. Go for it. Let it out.
So you get this like whatever security awareness training, but if you don't work in a company that has that, then you got nothing, right? People are out
Right.
there on their own, not having a clue and getting all kinds of like, I don't know, crazy text messages that are fake fraud or whatever. So for me, it was like this interesting view of the balance of like what threat actors are doing in their skill set way up here, but then the everyday user is just way down here because they have no idea.
Right.
And nobody is telling them how to have an idea, right?
Right.
So that's
So-
kind of like a thing. It's a soapbox that I'll get on. I have a few soapboxes, but
No, let's
No.
state it. If you let me have a minute. Absolutely. 100%, Marcel. The shitty cybersecurity awareness training on both sides, doesn't matter where you go, it's not smarter than the three of us if we were to think adversarially. Because you got to
Right.
remember, we're used to like, oh, look out for that. Look out for the fraud ring. Look out for phishing. Look out for, SMS. But that's a different language to the user.
Right,
Right. So
exactly.
we kind of got to go back and realize that because of our sophisticated mindset and the domains that we're in, the user doesn't get that same,
No.
training.
They have
And so,
no
yeah,
idea.
so I 100% agree. That is a perfect aha moment because you're right. The actors know that. The
Mhm.
actors know they don't know what a smish is. They don't know what vishing is. They don't know what, a fraud ring. And we can unpack the soapbox. They still don't know what email phishing is. Let
No.
alone the other types of vishing, and then we do, I'm not going to name any vendors, but we do trainings, but we don't level up the training as the attacks
Right.
get more sophisticated. Like,
No, for sure.
we want to see the fraud ring, we want to see the supply chain attack, we want to see the different insider risks, right? We can talk about that too because they're people smarter than Alfredzo, right? You know, some of these adversaries, they know how analysts do their job, right? So that's what we should be letting the users know that. And I'm not throwing anybody under the bus, but if you're on a defensive team, it's part of your job to kind of say, hey, is this an insider behavior? Is this malicious? Because the users don't know that. You're right. The users absolutely.
They just do not know. They don't know.
That is a very aha moment. and
it
is,
you know, and also I'll tell you, like one of the first things that was an aha moment for me was, you know, they're always like, oh, passwords, but nobody knows why you should care about your passwords. And so like things like info stealers. Average person, if I went to like, you know, my random friend, whoever, Nancy, and asked her about info stealers, she wouldn't have the slightest idea. But they're yeah, well, that too. But I mean, info stealers are rampant right now, and they're just hoovering up credentials all over the place. And then, like for me, seeing a password be cracked for the first time, like somebody was doing a demo of John the Ripper or whatever, and I was like, oh dang, it only took like 1 second to crack that password. So yeah, but nobody explains this to the users. So I think if they had a better understanding of the why of things, they'd be, you know, more like engaged in terms of being sort of that human firewall thing.
It's all you have to, I think you have to make the users care.
Yeah.
You know, kind of so because right now it's just more of compliance. Like for a lot of organizations, it's just more of a compliance measure, a checkbox. I'm friends. We talked about this before. Like
100 times.
The training is not. You have your annual cyber training. It's probably the same video that you've done the past few years. You know,
same CBT.
Yeah. You know, as long as you get it done, then you're good for the year. You don't think about it ever again until it's next year when you got to do it.
No, it's true. I mean, I have a consulting company. I've had it forever, right? But it's always just been like a side hustle. But one of the things I'm working on right now is a more sort of enlightened security awareness training, if you will. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's like you have to make these concepts resonate with users in terms of their personal life. If they start to get it for their personal life, then they're more likely, I think, to embrace it in their workplace. And this is me just conjecturing. I have no solid evidence of this, but I do think it's true, right? Because if you can explain, you know, how to avoid being phished, you know, on Facebook or something, then maybe they'll understand LinkedIn, which might be more work related or something. So
yeah, or Teal or Workday. So the side hustles, we'll definitely connect on LinkedIn. So because now the side hustles are called side of desk for the consultancy. All right. So we'll definitely talk, because you're right. Some people need to see it in Workday. They need to see it in ServiceNow. They need to see it in different aspects. Like this is the same attack that happens business to business now. But let's jump into it and keep this coffee brewing for sure. So you've got a cabinet full of certifications. If you had to pick just one certification that you feel gave you the most unexpected or surprising advantage in your career, which one would it be, and what's the story behind it?
Yeah, so I love that question. And I go back and forth between being embarrassed by how many certs I have and sort of proud of them.
Is it over 20? I didn't add you on LinkedIn. Are you up to over 20 certs?
I don't even have them all on LinkedIn. I think I'm around 14 or 15. I don't even know for sure.
Okay.
But no, so it's like it became like a Pokemon gotta catch them all sort of thing. Like I got my first couple, and the like the high, the buzz or whatever you get from passing a certification exam, I was just like, ooh, what am I doing next?
There's definitely a thrill behind it. Yeah, no.
It is, especially Amazon. They discount them. There's definitely a buzz because they get discounted as you get more. I don't know. Every vendor is different, but there's definitely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
if you do Amazon search, they're half off. They're half, so you get a discount code. So say you do practitioners like $50.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Amazon knows how to like suck you in and get you engaged.
Yeah, absolutely. I haven't heard it from Google. I haven't not knocking, but I know they don't give us any paychecks.
So of course, this is just staying with their certs.
Just staying with their go all the way up to the professional level when they start getting.
Hey, that's a good incentive, man. I mean, you know, because these certs they cost too much doggone money, so they need to start helping us out.
Pentest Plus is like triple, like 1,000 something now. So,
wow.
CompTIA Pentest Plus?
Like, so sorry, just to
sorry. Go ahead, Marcel.
And it's not exactly what you asked me, but the one I would say I'm the most proud of is my GCIA, which is SANS Intrusion Analyst certification. It's the very first SANS certification I ever got. It's also the hardest SANS certification I ever got. It's all about like packet analysis, basically. Well, intrusion analysis, but with a big focus on packets. And, you know, anybody who knows me knows I'm a bit of a packet nerd. So, but that was my very first SANS training ever. And it just really was an amazing experience. And, you know, I was lucky that I've had the opportunity to have many SANS trainings, which are extremely expensive and not, you know, something anybody's paying for on their own, typically speaking. So,
well, ballpark, how much are they? Because I've moved on a few years.
I think they're like $8. I think they're like $8.
Oh, yeah, it's getting close to
definitely side of desk. It's a separate line of business.
It's hitting close to like 10,000.
I don't know. Maybe it depends, but it's at least 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be like 5, 6, and it's definitely gone up.
Could they give you like a million books? You know.
Oh yeah, but I mean, they do have the work study program where, you know, you can get it for a much reduced price, but that's fairly selective, I think. But yeah, so GCIA is the only one I even keep active. Like, and that's a whole thing too. Like, I have all these certifications. I do not pay to renew them. It's like I got them. I don't need to renew them. I renew all my CompTIA ones because I tend to teach those sort of courses. And so like where I teach at UMGC, you have to have the certification that's tied to the course in order to teach the course.
Yeah. So, I mean, that definitely makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and so light bulb moment, you teach at UMGC.
Yeah, as an adjunct, just part-time. Right?
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so I keep my CompTIA ones active because of that. And then I have a couple of EC Council ones that I keep active for the same reason. And then CISSP I keep active because God knows I never want to take it again. Yeah. And then my one SANS certification, but I'm definitely not trying to keep, I think I have like 7 SANS certifications. I'm not paying the money to keep those all active, right? I mean, it's not relevant, I don't think. You got them.
So what was the story behind you getting that one? So by mind, shameless plug to Packet Pushers. When you said Packet Nerd, that was the first podcast I ever listened to in this industry.
Oh, really?
So when you said that, just triggered like a 20-year memory. Right. So what was the story behind you getting that one? What made you want to get that GCIA?
Yeah, so I was so green at that point. Like I'd only been in the field for like 2 minutes or maybe 2 years, but still not very much. And I think this might touch on something you were going to ask me about later, but I'll just talk about it now. It's like when I first did my career change, I started taking classes at my local community college, and I got involved with like the cyber security club. And then I started doing cyber competitions with the club. And so I was doing this digital forensics competition, and basically it was all about, you know, analyzing different artifacts and trying to figure out like what happened, and then you have to write a little report, yada yada. Anyway, so I was working on this one, and it was like, analyze this PCAP and explain like the steps of the intrusion or whatever. And you know, what was the first thing I had to do? Right. Google what is a PCAP, because I had no idea. Right. And then I, you know, discovered Wireshark and whatnot. And I don't know what it was about Wireshark and PCAPs and whatnot, but I just loved it. And it kind of became like my jam. So when I was looking at, you know, the different SANS courses, that one just kind of rose to the top for me because of the content. I was like, ooh, I want to know how to read headers. Like, I'm not that girl. I can't look at hex and tell you exactly what's in that header.
Machine whisperer, right?
I would need to like take pen and paper or something and figure it out. But yeah, so it was just, you know, something that was unexpected to me. Like, who knew I was going to fall in love with something crazy like this? And being a career changer, you know, I come into cybersecurity with zero technical background. I was like project management, operations, yada, yada, yada for different industries. Right. And so I'm trying to wrap my head around what is this field of cybersecurity. And I was like, oh, I'll do policy, right? I know how to do policy type things. And I discovered pretty quickly that I did not want to do policy, and that would be supremely boring to me. Hands off to anybody who wants to do that. We need people to do that.
Right.
Or not hands off, whatever the word. Hats off, thank you. But
Hats
yes.
off and hands on keyboard.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But yeah, so anyway, I did discover that I sort of like this whole like forensics area and kind of just morphed from there.
Nice. Okay, so let's move into the next I guess area, right? So beyond this the tech jargon, right? What is the most surprising and hilarious misconception people have about what you do in cybersecurity? And on a related note, what's the most unusual skill you found surprisingly useful in your work from digital forensics to incident response? So first question.
Yeah. So this is where I say, look at me. People look at me and they never, ever think she's a cybersecurity person or she's a techie person. Like I'm such the quintessential not that person, right? So I think people are always very surprised when they discover that, I am a little bit of a technical badass. And, it's just, they don't expect it. And
that'll help you in the interviews. No, that's it. That's perfect.
Well, so I don't know about that part helping me with the interview, but part 2 of the question does, I think, help me with the interview a little bit. But I will say, so I've had experiences like walking around the Black Hat, like expo floor, for example. And I'm sure you all probably have had that experience at some point, but it's a zillion vendors and they're all like, do this, do that. And I remember me and Lisa Jiggets, who is the founder of Women's Society of Cyberjitsu and a total badass. She was doing this stuff long before I was. She and I walked around that expo floor and we went to all these booths and everybody ignored us. Like they acted like we weren't even there. So yeah, you are a little bit invisible. It's weird.
So y'all are literally the ghosts in the show. Y'all are like the don't hack me. Right.
People should be afraid. They have no idea. I'm just kidding.
It's almost like a those folks who be hustling people in the pool hall and act like they can't play,
right.
And then like, hey, you want to play like $20 a ball, and they like, oh yeah, I got
then they
this.
come out with the custom $100.
Exactly.
By the end of the night, they lose their car because they bet everything.
Right.
Actually, that reminds me. So there was this one booth. I don't remember the company. I wouldn't call them out anyway. And it's just salespeople running these booths, right? So they had this competition. They were like, decrypt this thing and win a prize. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, it was like base 64 encoding. And I was like, this isn't encryption. And the person totally argued with me. He's like, yeah, it's encryption. Okay, it's encoding, but let me just go solve this. And I actually won.
Nice. Yeah. Keep them paying for that. Right. That is, I'm sorry.
That's a really nice like Oglio backpack that I gave to my husband because he gets all the swag that I win.
Wow. But then I also think it's a gimmick too. I think they know. I think they know like who's technical, who's not. Now after all these years, I think they know the minute they say something like that, the technical folks are going to show up like, all right, let's go. So I think it's something that I don't know how to spin it because I'm not like a hiring manager, but it would work to tell those stories in the end.
Yeah. Well, so that leads me to my sort of unusual skill. And I think my unusual skill is that I'm a really good storyteller. And that comes into play in so many different ways. So it comes into play for me as an educator. So like, for example, I was teaching at UMD, University of Maryland College Park, not UMGC. And I had to build this digital forensics class from scratch, basically. And so I was like, how can I make this interesting? And I just basically wove a story. And it was like some thing with college student being stalked by another college student. I was trying to make it relevant to them. But, I made the story and then I made all this evidence that went with the story. And oh my God, the kids like loved it. So I think, being able to tell a story like that is something that not everybody has. And it's actually super useful in a lot of different ways. I think also of like, I did a tabletop exercise at my last job right before I was departing. And this tabletop exercise, it was the same kind of thing, right? Like I came up with this whole scenario about, I don't want to go into the details, but it was a very realistic thing that could happen, but just thinking of all the possible like scenarios and whatnot, so on and so forth. So so storytelling, I think, can be super useful and definitely is not something that everybody has.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, and also that's where you're able. I think doing it in that format, it allows people to really understand and be more relatable to people. And I don't think that just applies to within cybersecurity. I think that applies pretty much to any facet of like let's say even in music. When we talk about like rap music, some of the best lyrical artists are the ones who could tell a story as they're rapping their song, because you can be able to listen and relate. And then now I'm a fan. So so that applies. If you're a really good storyteller, like I said, you're able. That's a great way to connect with people and to convey your message. What you're trying to tell people, what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
So I think that's awesome. So Marcel, so imagine you're hosting a cybersecurity themed dinner party. So which 3 historical figures, and they don't have to be tech related, would you invite to discuss, modern cyber threats? And what's one burning question you'd ask each of them?
So should they be alive or can they
dead or alive? Dead or alive?
Okay.
Assume we could get a hologram of the ones.
So for that one, I think being a woman in this space, I would like to speak to other women in the space. And I'm going to look at sort of trailblazers. And I assume most people know about Grace Hopper, Ada Lovelace. I mean, these are the women, if you talk about women in cyber, even though Ada Lovelace was 1,000,000 years ago, or it was 100 and some years ago, those are kind of your go-to folks. But then I would also look at people who were involved with like the early American suffragette movement. So Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, people like that. And what I would really want to know from them is how does it, and this is not cybersecurity necessarily related, but how is the vibe now different from the vibe in the early 1900s or the mid 1900s or whatever? I want to know what their perspective is on how things have changed, how have we grown, what could we do differently today to just keep making strides in diversity movements. Does that make sense?
It does, because I think they would be kind of like, I won't say ashamed, but they would say, with all the resources you have, we don't communicate enough about what we stood up.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Globally now, mind you, they're site to site, United States, different initiatives outside the country, wire telegrams. Imagine you had the internet.
I know.
Right. So I think they would kind of have a few words of like frustration to say, well, we're not using this modern cyber technology in an efficient and diverse way, or humanitarian way, first, or philanthropic, like, right? Yeah, there's a social. So those are good folks, because I think with the generations, they would notice the modern technology is not being used efficiently.
Right. Well, we have all these advancements. What have we done with them to what,
right,
sure.
To move their agenda forward, their mission. I won't just say agenda, because we can say agenda on the private side. A sprint initiative, right? But on the public side, mission and mission scope. So how do we move that forward with all these advanced technologies we've come to adapt from their beginning?
Yeah. And I mean, the sad thing is we do still need to move a needle, right? We're not where we should be in any way, shape, or form with regard to diversity. And I don't want to get political, but it's not getting better right now. So
no, not even close.
I don't want to get hemmed up in my side of desk activity.
Right. So we have Marcelle Lee here on the Cyber Coffee Hour, part of the Live Podcast Network. Again, for our listeners there listening or watching, please like, share, subscribe as you listen to this episode. So as we get to the back half here of our time here with Marcel, still have some still have some serious questions, but also, like how we do, like to sprinkle a little fun at the end as well. So first, Marcel, so we love to shine a spotlight on what you're passionate about right now. So we know you're, deeply involved with the Women's Society of Cyber Jiu-Jitsu. Could you tell us a bit about their mission and perhaps a recent initiative or success story you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, 100%. So I've been involved with Cyber Jitsu, since like 2013 or something like that. And it's a nonprofit that's geared to increasing diversity in the field of cybersecurity. And it's not just gender diversity, it's really all sorts of diversity. It's just our primary focus is gender. But I can tell you, like, I discovered Cyber Jitsu through like somebody I was going to the community college with, and they're like, oh, you should check out this group. And basically at that point, Cyber Jitsu was super small, just based in North Virginia. They would do a monthly workshop, some technical type topic, right? And it was only for women. And so coming into this industry, I was just like immediately struck, like
Right.
how few women there were. Like I went to my first like conference besides DC, actually. I do love a B-sides. I could talk about that for a while too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to my first conference and I was just like, dang, where are all the ladies? So I discovered Cyber Jitsu and I started going to these monthly sessions where it was, whatever technical topic, and we're just geeking out together. And it was just the most amazing thing to meet these other women who were also interested in tech. Because like for me, coming to this from a whole different background, I have like my pre-cyber friends and my post-cyber friends.
Right.
And there's a lot of crossover, but there's definitely like getting into this field, I've met so many amazing people, and it's really just grown like my whole community. And sorry, I'm just rambling, but anyway, so back to Cyber Jitsu, which really helped me, do that, right, and meet people. But besides just those initial sessions where we're geeking out together and meeting like-minded ladies, it's like now, like I said, 2013, many years later, I've been on the board of directors for a while, and we do a lot of really cool programming. But I think the thing that's a differentiator for our organization from other like women in tech kind of organizations is that we are very focused on getting people skilled up. And it's not like you have to be technical, but I will tell you from my own personal experience and just mentoring so many people, just getting a little bit of technical skills under your belt is such a confidence booster, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I don't know, like learning how to do CyberChef is like one of my things, right? Or doing something Linux command line, just it's empowering and it's amazing. And you just see people, and not just women, but anybody, right? You grow because you're like, oh, dang, I can do this. What else can I do? So that's the part that I think is just really valuable about Cyber Jitsu. So I will endlessly advocate for it. But like I said, it's for anybody. It's not just for women. And we're always actually interested in, new members, but also if you're wanting to do like a workshop for us or something, we would embrace that for sure. So if you have something technical you want to share, like hit me up.
100%. So that's the level up right there. Give us any links and we'll include in the show notes for both.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
So if you have any of those upskill challenges or any of the workshops that you need over at Cyber Jitsu, let us know. We'll come and partner together. But That's the level up. That is empowering because you're right. One skill to pay a bill. And then the next skill is like, hey, this company doesn't have that skill set. So yeah, let's definitely.
One skill to pay a bill. I've never heard that, but I love it.
Oh, hopefully it catches now then. You heard it here first on the Cyber Coffee Hour, right. So, but yeah, we'll include all the links in your show notes, and then we'll promote out once we wrap.
All right, cool.
So that's a good segue too into. So Marcel, in your expert opinion, what is the most significant emerging cybersecurity threat that organizations need to be prepared for right now? Now let's pause. So we are particularly interested in hearing your thoughts on increased credential abuse and sophisticated phishing. We kind of dabbled in earlier, but especially with the rise of AI, the ever-growing challenge of our supply chain attacks.
Yeah.
I'll wait and then build up the suspense.
So I definitely have thoughts about all these things, of course, unsurprisingly. So one of the things, and I do a lot of these sort of cybersecurity threat landscape type briefings, and And what I always like to kind of focus on is the initial access vector, like how threat actors get into your environment to start with. You all know, like, companies are like, oh my God, it was an advanced APT using a sophisticated attack method or whatever. It's like, no, somebody clicked on a phishing link, or somebody's credentials were used to get access to the environment, or a vulnerability was exploited because we're not taking care of attack surface management, right? So these are the three main ways that people get in. These are all things that companies, organizations can remediate fairly easily, right? I think there's so much noise about what's happening in, cyberland, that organizations are just like, don't know what to do first. But if you ask me, what to do first is, first of all, credentials. If you're not monitoring for like exposed credentials, then you're I'm going to say screwed. Sorry, another sort of bad word.
No, you can. I mean, yeah, you're 100% screwed. We'll say you're 100% screwed. There's without any identity, there's no perimeter. So I've heard that catch on, and I'm starting to notice it over about to be 20 years myself too. What do you do when those credentials are gone? Right?
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, they just are. Like, I mean, there's literally billions of credentials out there right now, and like I mentioned info stealers before, there's like so many different info stealers, and they're just everywhere, and they're just, like I said, sucking up credentials from people's browsers and whatnot. And so there's an enormous stash of credentials that are available to threat actors to use. So they can just throw those credentials against whatever they're trying to get into, right? And are able to get access, because people reuse credentials all the time, right? So if you have a nice pair of username and password, that for one thing, is it going to work for another place? Probably, yes.
A series in other places.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So yeah, so that's a credential abuse is huge, and it's just going to get worse. And I think also, yeah, so I mean, I'm sure you've worked for companies that are like, oh, you got to change your password every 90 days or whatever, which is not even like NIST is against that now, right?
Yeah,
like this whole frequent changing. Yeah,
it's more about the complexity.
They change it up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so people are like, okay, it's password 123 October. Oh, next month it's password 123 November, whatever.
Like that's not any better.
No, I know.
Well, let's go back, and so now with the rise of AI and that noise, do you see a potential threat for AI knowing and learning that no one's changing the credentials?
Like, for sure. I mean, that was part of the question too, about AI enabled like phishing, and at the end of the day, like, I personally use AI as kind of a personal assistant. Like, for an example, I was like thinking, I'm like, oh, I would have a list of all the ISACs, and when they have an annual conference, because this is something I might be interested in pursuing in terms of like doing talks or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I could have Googled all that stuff myself, or I could just ask AI and it makes it for me like that. So it's the same thing for anything that anybody's trying to do, including threat actors. So, I mean, I think the things we think about, like, just making a more enhanced email like template, is trivial. Like, there's so much more that can be done. And really, AI, it's like, it's limited to your imagination. And as we've already said, like, threat actors seem to have a lot of imagination about like how to do things. So the AI piece, yes, we can use it better to defend ourselves, but I think we're still like behind the 8 ball so far in terms of, good guys, bad guys, if you will, using it effectively. And hopefully I answered the question. Sometimes I get on a tangent and I forget.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's also a good pivot to tracing back to the beginning, your beginning. What was the first piece of technology or specific experience that really ignited your passion for cybersecurity? You kind of hit this already, but let's dive a little.
Yeah. So it really was that whole digital forensics thing. And I think for me, I love, and it's not unique to me. A lot of people, I think, get into this field because they love solving a mystery. They love putting together the pieces of a puzzle, right? Like, this resonates, right? I'm like, oh, I can get to the bottom of this campaign or whatever. So, and again, this is, when I first started out. So like I said, I really didn't have a clue what I wanted to do in this field. I didn't even know what you could do in this field, which I will throw a plug out there for the nice cybersecurity workforce framework.
Oh yeah, let's include that in the
Yeah,
notes.
I can definitely give you a link if you don't have it, but it's so useful because, like, I say this all the time, but people are like, "Oh, I want to work in cybersecurity," and it's like saying you want to work in medicine. I'm like, okay, are you going to be a brain surgeon? Are you going to be
very broad.
a coder, medical coder? It could be a zillion things, and cybersecurity is exactly the same. So having something to look at to kind of help you figure out what it is that maybe you want to do in the field is really essential, for sure.
And it's so funny you said that, because I have a cousin that got me started in cyber about 20 years ago, and he said the same thing. I don't want to be a doctor in IT back then. So your beginning, would you say your beginning focused on like the mystery solving and the curiosity of what might lie out there in the crime solving?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
I mean, I've always kind of been like, a true crime kind of junkie. I love mysteries. I like listen to those kind of podcasts, watch Forensic Files and whatever.
Check out Darknet Diaries then too. So I don't know those folks with Jack reciting them, if that's his real name. but
I think it actually is.
check that one out too. That's kind of along the lines where he interviews the gray. I won't say some are completely bad, but there's like the gray and good guys too.
Yeah, he does a really interesting job of interviewing people who are a little sus, but it's really interesting to hear the stories.
Yeah, 100%. And he's been at it for years now, which is great. Like, you're right. It's like, hey, wait a minute, this guy might have been wearing an ankle bracelet in the 90s,
For sure. So I have to tell you something.
That's the guy that hacked me.
Right. Yo, hey, exactly. Then you get past the sock that I worked in the 2000s. That's a good point.
No, so I have to tell you something funny. So I go pretty much every year on this like beach camping trip in Baja, Mexico with a friend of mine. And she is not cyber at all. She works in like litigation support. But I hired her in my previous career a zillion years ago. So anyway, So I meet her in California, and then we drive down the coast and we camp on the beach and yada, yada, yada. But there's a lot of driving. So I'm in charge of entertainment, and I'll queue up music, of course, but also a bunch of podcasts. And I always have a ton of Darknet Diary episodes. And
best road trip ever. Let's go.
Well, she's not in cyber at all, but she loves these stories.
Really? Oh, she's intrigued.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
I thought you was gonna go the other route and be like, I'm not really feeling this. But no, Alfredzo, we even talked about this, like how we can, what are other ways we can introduce the field to people? Some are best with maybe reading articles. Some are best with videos. Some are best with music or maybe not music, but I mentioned like podcasts.
Oh no, Missy Elliott.
Well, now, yeah,
that's true. We might have other cyber pros that do that too. They might align to. That's what we said. Like you said, Dr. just in the beginning, we wanted to see that alignment and have that conversation that we weren't seeing. So 100%, I agree. Like, I know folks might think cybersecurity is like super boring, but there is an exciting period.
Oh my gosh. I think it's the opposite of boring, really.
Yeah, but see, that's one thing when we started our show too, we were like, well, how do we keep people curious? How do we keep, we're caffeinated 24/7, but like, how do we keep them curious about the things we talk about? Because right now, even eating our own dog food, we're kind of like, yo, listen, there's other avenues of mysticism, right? It's like very entertaining in this field. I just think we need to get it out there, like we said, Dr. Joseph, and so yeah, and a lot of times I don't want to hear the news prompt. I know we hear it 24/7, like, yeah, this one got hacked, that one got hacked.
Yeah.
This office is leading to a compromise or trying to prevent one. So a lot of times that could be too much for folks outside of cyber.
Right.
You gotta think we're kind of numb to it, and I won't say that lack empathy, but we're kind of resilient to hearing that. Folks outside might think the world is ending.
Right.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would say we're inured to it, right? Like, we're just so used to it. But I think for the everyday person, they're just feeling like helpless, right? Because they hear all this stuff, but they have no tools to be able to do anything about it. So, so that's it's not a good way to engender better security.
So Marcel, so looking back at your journey to success in cybersecurity, what were some of the key challenges you've encountered?
So I think Okay, first of all, I'm going to say that I think I've been pretty successful, and I tend to say lucky, and people are like, "Don't say lucky. You worked really freaking hard for this, right?" But you know, I've had a pretty amazing journey going from zero to whatever in this field. So I think for me, it was, and I already talked about it a little bit, just kind of figuring out like what it was I wanted to do in the field. And also, you know, just trying to figure out how do I take my past experience and parlay that into like an entirely new career. And yeah, so that was a tricky thing. And I had help with that. I'd signed up for a program through Howard County in Maryland. And it was all about like, you know, people looking for new jobs or whatever. And it was all about branding, yada, yada. So I was like, oh, okay, this is helpful information. And just kind of, yeah, the branding thing was huge. But I mean, I think I pretty successfully did it. But there was a long time where I was just like, is anybody ever going to hire me? I don't know if they will. And also part of it too is, you know, the perception, right? So again, going back to just looking at me and thinking, oh, what would she maybe be good at? And so I got a whole lot of like, when I first started doing like job fairs and stuff, they're like, oh, you could do like pre-sales. What am I selling even? I don't even know because I'm so new to this field. But there was definitely sort of this perception of not technical, right?
Well, now you can sell busting up base 64 and get Oakley shades, you know.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I can do that.
Right. I've been proven in the arena of Black Hat. So would you say that branding was the challenge that you overcome? What did that add demand to coming into a known field? I missed that. So that was a part of the challenge coming into a field you hadn't known very well.
Yeah, exactly. No, the branding piece was huge. And, you know, I mean, I would say my whole career journey was a little like bumpy, maybe. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, there was a lot of angsty moments like, why am I even doing this? Is this the right idea? Like I quit a full-time job to go to school and try this whole thing out. I was the world's freaking oldest intern more than once because I got some internships and whatnot.
Emeritus intern.
But yeah, but you know, I just kept driving at it until, you know, I finally got there and it worked. But also there was another weird side effect too when I first started getting into cybersecurity. Like I used to have like this weird paranoia that everybody's trying to hack me all the time because I started learning about, you know, how these things could happen. So I'd get like a weird text message. I'm like, oh my God, I've been hacked. And I didn't even understand like how that would work. But
yeah, that's relevant, right? Okay. And so with such a demanding field as you explained, we get to the most powerful question of this conversation here. What is your go-to coffee that helps you power through this day or through your day? Excuse me.
Yeah, so I'm an espresso gal. I typically have 2 cups of espresso every morning.
Yeah.
And I really don't drink coffee.
Double espresso, if you will.
Yeah. Well, actually, they are doubles.
Yeah. Wait, two doubles?
2 doubles, yeah.
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 So then I'm good for the day.
We have to get this right. That's ultimo. That's like that's the ultimate level right there. So there's a shot order, and I forgot the name for it. I know one's a double doppio, but I forgot what the quad shot is called. Do you?
I don't know.
Okay, I
mean, this is just in my home Nespresso machine. It's like
nice
getting fancy coffee or whatever. But right. And so, I mean, later on in the day, I might treat myself to like a latte, like I was having earlier. That's typically going to be decaf. Although today I did not decaf, which accounts for I feel like a lot of energy right now. But I also like an espresso martini. So
okay.
And I've seen those coming back. So can you explain? So I've been nervous to try one. I'll just say.
You've never had one?
Wait, you never tried like even just going to dinner and just tried one?
No,
really?
No. I've been kind of nervous because one, I might like it too much.
Well,
and 2, it might keep you up at night.
Right, and that too. So there's like, how does that work? What's the flavor, and or which one do you ask for it a particular way?
Yeah, so well, no, I don't ask for it a particular way. I mean, I think the quintessential one is basically actual espresso and vodka, typically, And then really from there, people throw in all kinds of different things. You might get a splash of Kahlua. You might get coffee liqueur. Like people make it different ways.
Coffee
I tend to be
liqueur
kind
is
of a
typically
purist.
one of the ones in there.
Yeah. I tend to be a purist, so like I'm kind of happy with just some vodka and some espresso. Right. There are little beans on top just for the color, or not color, whatever texture.
Yeah, they drop it on like on the foam of the.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen them. I've just so my girlfriend gets them a lot, and I'm kind of like, wait a minute, it might be too good. Vodka, coffee, what else? Coffee, Kahlua. That's like a dessert.
Like, it could be a few different things. Some kind of liquor, but
yeah. I mean, and depending where you go, I mean, everywhere it may have their own twist to it, but yeah, for the most part, that's usually the base, unless they, like I said, they do their own type of thing.
Yeah. So the sweet spot is if you find a bar or restaurant that will do decaf espresso martinis, because then you don't have to worry about being up all night if you're drinking them.
We're not doing
that I have not had. I've not had a decaf.
We say that now, but you haven't had one yet.
Right. So Marcel, lastly, last question here. Beyond your incredible work in cybersecurity, what are some hobbies, interests, or recreational activities you enjoy in your downtime?
Yeah, sure. So I love to read. I'm an avid reader. And I read fiction. I mean, I do read nonfiction, but I love fiction. And so I've read, I think, close to 50 books so far this year.
Wow, okay.
Me and my Kindle are BFFs.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So I do read a lot. I also am slightly addicted to Pilates. I do Pilates like 5 or 6 times a week, and super into that. I just actually had my 250th class yesterday.
Oh, wow.
They make like a big thing about it. It'll be on Instagram.
What gym or where is
so it's actually Club Pilates.
Oh, it's Club Pilates. Okay.
Yeah, it's a chain. So it's reformer Pilates where you're using like all this bench and equipment and whatnot. But but yeah, I've been doing it for like a year and a half now, and it's amazing. Like my strength is so improved from when I started. So I love Pilates. And what else?
First of all, I didn't know there was a Club Pilates, so you just schooled me.
Oh, yeah. No, they're all over the place.
And so they celebrated 250 classes?
Well, so my 250 classes.
Nice. Got it.
Yes. Yeah, they do a celebration of different, like, sort of, road marks, if you will. So like 100 classes, 250 classes, 500 classes.
Yeah, like milestones. Nice.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that for, the physical fitness aspect. And then what else? Oh, yeah. So I love to travel. I travel fairly often. I have been to all 48 contiguous U.S. states. So I've not been to Hawaii or Alaska, but I've been to the other 48.
Okay.
And I'm working on continents right now. So the only continents I have left are Africa and Antarctica. Africa is going to be easier to knock out.
Right.
But yeah, so I do a fair bit of travel. And I don't know, what else?
What's been your favorite state out of the 48?
My favorite? Oh, that's a tricky one. I'm a big fan of the Pacific Northwest. So
nice.
I really like Oregon a lot. Love Oregon. I used to live in San Francisco, so I have, some partiality to California.
Yeah.
I love Maine.
Maine.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. There's something to be said for every state, I think, except for, I'm sorry, Kansas. No.
Kansas.
Kansas, you're good.
I mean, I've done so many road trips driving back and forth across the country. I used to take my kids all the time when they were little. We would just like go for like weeks at a time, and I would always forget that Kansas existed. Like I was just like, what? Kansas is here. It's going to take 8 hours to drive through it every time. Like, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
No diss on Kansas. But they have really good barbecue, and they have a really cool exotic animal farm / bed and breakfast that I can't think of the name of, but we stayed there one time. It was cool. Nice. But I do love sort of the random roadside things, like the world's largest, I don't know, twine.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those things.
Well, do you prefer just the road trip, or do you fly? Do you do mostly road trip, or is it air?
Oh, no. These days I fly. I don't do road trips like I used to. But when like I said, when my kids were younger, we would do a lot of road trips, just go visit friends around the country and hang out wherever. At the time, I was like, I only worked part-time when my kids were little, so I had some flexibility to just go and do things.
Right.
So that's what we did.
Awesome.
I was like all over the place, me and 3 little boys.
That's awesome.
We camp, we do whatever, but yeah. So yeah, and then I have chickens. That's my last thing I would say. I got chickens during the pandemic, and I'm all about my chickens. Like after we had this discussion.
Oh, so you got like a farm, in the back?
Well,
she's like, no, we just got chickens.
Oh, it's just straight. Okay.
I mean, I have a backyard that happens to have 6 chickons in it.
Oh, just strict. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's. No. I live just outside of Annapolis. It's not a farm, but
okay, gotcha.
But yeah, so I like to go hang out and have a glass of wine and hang out with the chickens on my deck in the evening. So that's probably what I'll be doing shortly.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice.
Any pointers for the chickens? Like coop?
As a
do you have like a coop, or like what do you do? What do you do? They just like let them hang out in the yard?
Oh no. So they have a coop which they sleep in and lay eggs in. They have a run, which is an enclosed area where they hang out. I do let them free range in the yard, but on limited basis, because foxes, hawks, whatever, there's a lot of predators. So even though I have our dog, still the predators get into the yard. I actually have one of those like things, like you see it, like a used car place, like I call it Mr. Flappy Guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I have one of those in my backyard to keep the hawks away.
Smart. Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so Marcel, it's definitely been great having you on. But before we let you go, if there's anything you want to share with our listeners, any last words, words of advice, encouragement?
No, just I think if you're in this, just stay with it. Don't get discouraged. I mean, it's really hard sometimes. Imposter syndrome, we all get it. It's, and I think, I did a keynote at B-Sides Bournemouth last month, and I talked about my losing my job thing. And I think it's really important for people to know, like, just because I'm on this show with you all and you're introducing me as this fabulous person, it's like, yeah, no, I don't even have a job right now. So
I didn't have one either for a while. So,
No, but this is the thing. But, people will look at us and be like, oh my God, their life is perfect. And it's not. Nobody's life is perfect. So wherever you are is okay. And you'll get to where you want to be for sure. But yeah, I think that's the main thing that I would say is just don't look at other people. Like, so this is like one of my favorite things. Eva Galprin from, I think she's Citizens Lab. She said at B-Sides DC one time, or no, maybe it was SchMcCog, one of those conferences. She was doing a talk and she said, rock stars are bullshit. Work is done by teams. And oh my God, like that resonated with me so much. Like I cannot stand the whole idea of like a cybersecurity rock star because nobody does this stuff by themselves. And you can call me a badass. I'm okay with that. But yeah, the rock star thing, it doesn't help anybody grow to like think that there's just people out there that are super special for whatever reason. Because at the end of the day, we're all just regular people.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
I think that's well said. Well said. Well, so that's a wrap on another episode of the Cyber Coffee Hour, part of the Alive Podcast Network. We hope you enjoyed our chat with Marcelle Lee. Don't forget, you can find more amazing shows like ours on the Alive Podcast Network app. Now, if you like to show your support and keep the coffee brewing, you can contribute to the cause by checking out our link tree and donating to our Buy Me a Coffee platform. A huge thank you to all of our listeners and those watching. So please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. So until next time, stay safe out there and keep brewing. All right, that's it. It's a wrap. We out of here. Peace.